4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It was a good takeoff. Mr. Henderson, look! What is it?
Oh, it's all right, Jimmy. It's just one of the spacesuits fallen out of the locker.
But look, it's moving.
There's somebody inside it.
Who could it be?
We'll soon find out.
Valerie! Are you all right?
How did you get in our rocket?
I stowed away. What happened to me?
It was a boost of the motors. We went unconscious.
You're lucky you're still alive, my girl.
But I wasn't going to be the only one left behind. If you boys can go up to the moon, why shouldn't I?
Well, your father will have something to say about that. Now, you're quite sure you haven't hurt yourself?
Yes, I'm all right. How far have we got?
Well, we're still under acceleration. We're about 200 miles into outer space.
200 miles into outer space. That was the position of the second rocket, given a few moments ago. Meanwhile, the first of Professor Wedgwood's manned moon rockets is 3 hours and 70,000 miles ahead. All over the world, television and radio broadcasts are being interrupted to give the news of Professor Wedgwood's most daring experiment yet.
Ici Paris. Hier soir, on a pris le premier pas dans l'univers. On a envoyé 2 vaisseaux de l'espace anglais avec voyageurs à la Lune. Dans le monde entier, les scientistes souhaitent cette expédition comme le voyage de découvrir le plus grand dans l'histoire des hommes.
Here's a news flash. Bringing science fiction into reality, Britain has launched 2 manned space rockets to the moon. A convoy of intrepid explorers is hurtling through space at 20,000 miles an hour. It has just been announced from the expedition base at Buchan Island, Scotland, that the first space liner contained Professor N.D. Wedgwood, brilliant British rocketeer, and Canada's own moon expert, Professor Mary Meadows, in addition to 2 others. The second rocket, which left Earth a few minutes ago, was to have been automatically controlled, but it is believed that it now carries a crew. Stay tuned to station CJND Toronto for further details.
In einem aufsehenerregenden Bericht aus London erfahren wir von der Absendung 2 Mondschiffe mit Männern, die heute Abend an den Mond fahren mit einer Geschwindigkeit von 32.000 Kilometer per Stunde. Die 2 Raketen tragen Professor Wedgwood aus England, Professor Meadows aus Kanada und Chemieingenieur Dr. O'Connell aus Belfast mit einigen Technikern.
Overshadowing all other news today is the announcement from London that the Wedgwood expedition is on the way to the moon. Among those manning the 2 rockets is Dr. O'Connell, the Belfast geologist, who was lecturing here in Australia only 2 months ago. He hinted then that he hoped to be among the first to land on the moon.
As congratulations pour into Britain from all over the world, the 2 British spaceships are continuing on course towards the moon. We now hear from Buchan Island that the second rocket, Moon Rocket 2, is piloted by Conway Henderson, the well-known scientific journalist. The names of his crew, however, have not yet been disclosed.
Well, he might disclose them to us. See if we can get them on an RT now, Ian. Doesn't sound like Henderson withholding news.
Probably got Field and Kennedy with him.
MR1 to MR2. How are you receiving me? Over.
Loud and clear. Over.
I'll speak to him. Hello, Henderson. Wedgwood here. We had your last position report, but no reply to my question. What are the names of your crew? Over.
Hello. Hello, would you repeat question, please? Over.
I said, who are your crew? Over. Henderson, do you hear me? Who are your crew? Over.
Well, we've got to tell him sometime.
Let me speak.
No, he might send us back.
Can't, it's too late.
Hello, Dad. Look, don't get annoyed. This is Jeff speaking. We're with Mr. Henderson. Over.
Who are we? Over.
Well, Jimmy's here too. You see, he'd had experience. Over.
I might have known it. Anyone else? Over.
Tell him Hamlet's here.
Well, Dad, well, there's Hamlet. Well, there's...
And I'm here too, Dad.
Over.
I want to speak to Mr. Henderson again. Over.
Hello, Professor Wedgwood. Henderson here. Over.
What do you think you're doing, Henderson? Is this some sort of publicity stunt? I said you could bring up a couple of technicians, not my children. Over.
Professor Wedgwood, I picked the best crew there was available. Over.
It should have been obvious to anyone that you can't bring children on a mission like this. Over.
Well, I'm sorry. There seems to be some interference again. Over.
You can hear me perfectly well. Over.
Professor Wedgwood, you needed those supplies. I needed a crew I knew and could trust, and I got it. Over.
Henderson, this is a dangerous enough mission for us, but for children, it's impossible. Now, hold on a moment. What's their height?
Just a second, sir. 900 miles from the Earth.
Just about the limit of their orbital range.
Yes.
Henderson, you are to cut off main motors immediately and glide into orbit around the Earth. And you will stay there until we return. And that's an order. Over and out.
Hello, MI1. Hello. Hello, Henderson here. Hello.
It's no use, he's cut off.
Well, that seems to be his last word.
Oh, it's a rotten shame.
I won't be able to wear my space helmet now.
Well, at least he didn't tell us to go back.
Suppose I better do as he said and cut the main motors.
Must you, Mr. Henderson? I mean, he can't stop us going on.
No, but you see, from his point of view, it is safer for us to stay in the orbit of the Earth, rather than attempt the re-entry problem on our own.
Well, I still think we can manage it.
Mr. Henderson, if Dad's thinking of us being safe, would it be better if he could keep an eye on us?
Oh, how can he? The distance he'll be from us.
That's what I mean. If we were in orbit around the moon, he'd know where we were all the time. And you're not very experienced in handling this thing, are you, Mr. Henderson? I mean, round the Earth, you might let us fall into the atmosphere. Then we'd burn up.
Yes, you're right, Valerie. The moon's orbit would be safer.
MR2 still hasn't gone into orbit, sir.
Hello, MR2. Why haven't you cut off main motors as ordered? Over.
Hello, Dad, this is Jimmy. Are you all right? Over.
Of course I'm all right. Put Henderson on again. Over.
He's busy at the moment, Dad. He's having trouble. He doesn't think he can get the rocket into orbit without falling into the Earth's atmosphere. Still, he's going to try. He's cut the main motors and we're losing gravity anyhow. Oh, no, I've forgotten to put on my magnetic boots.
Hey, Jimmy, come down.
Oh, Jimmy, you idiot.
Hey, steady. Are you all right up there?
This is smashing. Seriously, Dad, it would be much simpler if we could go into orbit round the moon where you could tell us what to do. Over.
Now listen, Jimmy.
He's got a point there, sir. It might be better to let the rocket carry on its course as try to deflect it at this stage. It's over 1,000 miles per mouth now.
Henderson, it's now too late for you to go into orbit around the Earth. Instead, you'll follow on course behind us. But on arrival, you will go into orbit around the moon and stay there. Under no circumstances will I allow you to land. Over and out.
Well, I must say, those kids have got guts.
Well, maybe they have. But Wedgwood is right. This endangers our whole expedition. There's all our supplies in that rocket.
Should imagine Henderson knows what he's doing, sir.
Well, I'm sure he does. He's simply out for publicity. This should never have been allowed. What's going to happen when we reach the moon?
After 48 hours of tension, a signal has been received from the British moon rockets. The first rocket is in orbit round the moon. And now for the first ever Earth-Moon television link-up over to the Wedgwood Space Expedition.
We're ready to take us in 5 seconds, sir.
Cameras in focus, Wedgwood.
Transmitter on frequency?
Yes.
Right. This is the British Moon Expedition calling the Earth. We and the first rocket have been in orbit around the moon for 2.5 hours. We've made our reconnaissance and we know our landing point. We're now going to show you a television picture of the moon as we travel around it. And here's Professor Meadows to describe its features to you.
We're traveling around the moon from west to east. The flat plain beneath us now is the Sea of Fertility. You can also see the Sea of Crises, and beyond that, the beginning of the Sea of Tranquility. Those high mountains are the Haemus Mountains. One of our jobs will be to measure the height of these mountains. Their enormous height is due to the complete lack of atmosphere or rain or any other elements that would cause erosion.
Look, I can see a crater. We saw lots of them last time, didn't we, Hamlet?
The crater you can now see is Ptolemaeus. It's almost 100 miles across. Above it is Alphonse, another crater, and with it a smaller crater named Alpetragus. You can just see a large mountain in the center of this crater. Now for the most incredible sight of all. Just above Alphonse is the great wall of plain known as the Sea of Clouds. You'll see the ground to the west drop suddenly about 800 feet. This is what is known as the Straight Wall, a sheer cliff face on the surface of the moon.
We're going in now, Professor Meadows. Close down transmission.
We're closing down transmission now. We'll reopen again when we land on the moon's surface.
If we land.
Hello, MR2, MR1 calling. Over.
Hello, MR1. Henderson here. Over.
Hello, Henderson. Wedgwood here. You will shortly be coming to orbit. When you're safely in orbit, we're going into land. Have you picked them up yet?
Yes, I've got a blip here, sir. 1,200 miles.
Henderson, you will orbit once around the moon and hold course until instructed. We're now preparing to land. Over.
Very good, Professor. Good luck. Over.
This is MR1 calling Buchan Island and MR2. We're just about to break orbit, and then we should fall in towards the moon. You're to put in listening watch throughout our attempted landing and record everything that happens. If the operation doesn't go according to plan, MR2 is to break orbit immediately and return to Earth. You'll have sufficient fuel provided you don't land on the moon. And remember, there is to be no attempt at rescue, no matter what happens. I repeat, rescue is impossible. Over and out.
What does he mean? If it doesn't go according to plan?
He means if they crash.
Mustn't crash. They mustn't.
Buchan Island calling. Professor Wedgwood, this is Buchan Island calling. Are you receiving me? Over. Do you think he can hear me?
The radio's still alive?
It's been 6 minutes since they said they were starting their descent.
This is Buchan Island calling Moon Rocket 1. Why aren't you answering our call? Over. This is Buchan Island. Have you landed yet? Why aren't you answering? Over.
They want to know what's happening. What are we going to tell them?
Tell them anything you like. It's madness to go on, Wedgwood, without our supplies. You are not coming near these controls until you promise to take us back to Earth.
But be reasonable, John. When we've come all this way...
It's got nothing to do with reason.
For the last time, John, stand clear of those controls.
You can't afford to struggle in here. There are too many delicate instruments.
I'll risk that.
Hold it, sir. Dr. O'Connell doesn't want to land. Well, it's too late for that. The moon's pulling us in.
All right, John. If you want us to stay up here in orbit, all right. But we've got to use the main boost.
I don't trust you. Tell me how to work it and I'll do it.
It's just by your right hand, Dr. O'Connell.
That's it. Now, pull it towards you. Well, go on, man, pull it. See that?
knocked out by the loosened motors.
All right, here. Tell Buck and Island we're going in now.
Hello, Buck and Island. MR1 calling. Hello, Buck and Island. MR1 calling. Over.
We've lost them.
What do you mean, Jeff? What's happened to them?
I don't know. We've just gone over the horizon. What could have delayed them landing?
Well, we shan't know now till we come round the other side.
So we won't see Daddy land. What if something goes wrong? Maybe it's gone wrong already.
Well, if anything does go wrong, Valerie, I'm afraid I shall have to carry out your father's instructions.
And leave him there on the moon? But you couldn't.
I hope I shan't be faced with that decision.
He'll be all right now. I'll look after him.
Good. All right, get on your bunks, but keep watching your instruments. Height?
120 miles moon surface, closing 110.
I'm going to turn the ship now, ready to fire retroactive motors. Ian, I shall want constant readings from now until we land.
30 miles, closing 25.
Right.
10, closing 8, closing 6, 4, coming in too fast.
All right, I've got it. Turn on Aztec.
2, 1.
Turn off Aztec, we're off visual now. Bring out the legs. Brace yourselves, this is it. All right, you can get out of your bunks now. Ian, get a message back to Earth. Landing successful. What's the matter? Something wrong?
I don't know, sir. It seems incredible. We're on the moon. Hello, Buchan Island. MR1 calling Buchan Island. Over.
We've made it, Doctor.
I know. And I want to tell you all how sorry I am.
Whatever for? You fell over and got knocked unconscious.
There's nothing to worry about.
Well, let's take a look at our new world. Would you like to be first?
You know, I'm not going to be so polite as to refuse. It's just the most wonderful thing I've ever seen in my life. That black sky. And that vast emptiness.
Hello, Buchan Island. I repeat, MR1 calling. We are now transmitting from the moon. We have successfully landed in the Sea of Vapors. Over.
They made it!
Hooray!
They made it!
I knew they'd make it.
Hello, MR1. We've received your message. Congratulations.
Can we get their position?
Can you give us your position, please? Over.
9 degrees west, 15 degrees lunar north. Over.
9 degrees west, 15 degrees lunar north.
I've got it. They're 25 miles due southwest of the lunar Apennines.
Thank you, MR1. We've got your position now. Can we relay Professor Wedgwood to the World TV networks? Over.
Hello, Gene. I want you to hold the announcement of our landing until MR2 is safely in orbit. We'll keep you advised. Over and out.
I think I've got them, sir.
Well, I'll keep on tracking them. You call them on RT.
Hello? Hello? Lunar base to MR2. Lunar base to MR2. How are you receiving me? Over.
Wait a moment, Ian. This blip's coming in from south by southwest. MR2's orbital course should be due west, surely.
That's strange. How the devil did they get on that course? They must have veered right out of orbit behind the moon.
Oh, I don't see how. Keep on calling, will you?
Lunar base to MR2. How are you receiving me? Over.
Give me full volume. Hello, Henderson, Wedgwood here. You are 70 degrees off orbital course. What has happened? I repeat, you are 70 degrees off course. You're approaching from south by southwest. What has happened? Over.
Time check, Valerie.
12 minutes since we passed around the dark side.
Then we should be coming to lunar dawn in about a minute from now. Yes, I can see it.
What if he's landed yet?
He's probably sitting in the sea of vapors.
No, he's not, Mr. Henderson. He's still in orbit. Just picked up his rocket on the radar screen, look.
Still in orbit? Well, then what's happened? Hello, MR1, MR2 calling. We notice you are still in orbit. Can you hear us? Over. Jeff, what was MR1's last orbital course?
Due west east meridian, the same as ours. But he's not now. He's 70 degrees off the meridian, and he's coming round from south by southwest.
Hello, MR1. According to our radar, you are 70 degrees off orbital course. Over.
What's he talking about? We're off course.
Hello, Henderson. There seems to be a fault in your radar equipment. We landed on the moon 8 minutes ago. It's you who are off course.
Professor, wait a minute. MR2's dead on course. It's come on the screen now.
That's ridiculous. We've been tracking it in from the southwest for 2 minutes.
But that wasn't MR2. That's why you didn't get an answer. There are now 2 blips on the screen.
It must be a moon echo.
Well, how could it be? An echo would remain in the same relative position. These two are converging. It is an echo. Why is it describing an orbit of its own?
MR1 broke off in the middle of transmission.
Well, whatever's happened, their rocket's definitely in range. I can see them on the screen, look.
There's Dad's rocket. I can see them now. Look, Hamlet. Look, Hamlet, he's landed all right.
What
did you say?
I was telling Hamlet they landed all right.
Don't be silly, Jimmy. They're still on the radar screen. Let me have a look.
No one believes anything I say, Hamlet.
He's right. I can see them. They're down there.
Then that blip can't have been MR1.
It's getting nearer, Mr. Henderson. Distance 180 miles, and it's traveling at 150 miles a minute.
Well, that means it'll reach us in just over a minute, whatever it is.
I think I've got its height. It's the same as ours.
Mr. Henderson, I can see it. It's a spaceship.
Oh, that's impossible. Well, yes, you're quite right, Valerie. It is a spaceship. But I've never seen one like this on Earth.
Distance now 20 miles.
And it's heading straight for us.